everybody, thank you very much for joining me today. Today's reading is going to be the unfolding karma of this connection. The title may change by the time it gets to a heading or a thumbnail on YouTube, just because basically you need something that's eye-catching, but not enough for the reading to feel like you're being led down some sort of merry path. What I believe with regards to karmic connections is that they tend to unfold in a similar pattern every time that you meet, but each chance you get different opportunities to learn and to understand and maybe shift it along slightly sideways somehow. So what I would guess you should be looking for in this reading is a similar feel to what may have happened in your past lives, if you believe in that. I'm going to be looking at the energies that you both need to express, the main theme in the relationship, the lessons to be learned in the relationship, and how the relationship began, sits now and unfolds, because that will give me an idea of what you've been through and what you're going through now, so you can basically nip it in the bud if there's something you want to change. Okay, enough talking. So you've got three choices. You've got Blossom for number 1, you've got Limeade for number 2, and you've got Fiesta for number 3. So if you want to take your choice, then we'll get moving. Okay, pile number 1, I'm restarting here. I've just started, but basically couldn't get a word out, so here goes. This is Blossom pile, and I'm looking at this pile to look at the pattern in past lifetimes, where your blockages may have been, how the connection developed, and where the good points are, and how to recognise them in this lifetime to make sure that you make the best of it. Your person's coming across as the Mother of Fire and you're coming across as the Magician. When I put these cards out, I thought this person had taken a lot of responsibility in past lifetimes, somebody who looked after others, who was very focused in what they attained and what they pushed for and where they got in a past lifetime, whatever that may mean. On this side with the Magician card, I feel that you're a searcher. It's like fresh energy, it's like new, it's spontaneous, it's expressive, wanting to feel, wanting to know, wanting to experience, more than to having to hold. It's more about the moment with you, I would guess. And this person has seen a lot, I would think, here. In the centre pile, with probably what brought you together with the Four of Wands and the Devil card, there's a feeling here of stability, caring with the Six of Cups beside it as well, a real nurturing feel towards each other. With the Devil card here, it's almost like that feeling almost caused you both to, if this was energy, it would implode, and not in a negative sense, but it's like, to me, it will feel like a picture where the relationship and the connection, if it was energy, is like brewing, and then it all falls inwards into the Devil card here, where it becomes very earthy. So it's like connection, see it, you want to experience it. This person, I feel like, wanted to help you, and then it builds, a relationship builds, you feel stable with each other. This person feels like they've got something to give. You feel like you've got something to live, and then it all starts concreting with the Devil card in the centre into what it feels like is an attachment, and it starts, and it continues in a very caring way. The Knight of Pentacles makes me think that you had quite a long time to allow this connection to develop. So I don't know if you've known this person in this lifetime for a long period of time as well, because these two cards being Saturnian and the Knight of Pentacles being slow moving would suggest that. And the Four of Wands here again adds to that, but also a feeling with a little turtle in the eggs inside its tummy, of a feeling of caring and love expressed. And there's almost like a paternal or maternal feeling coming from this card, because the Magician card to me is youthful. It's got lots of different elements it wants to experience, and it's basically just been kicked out of the Fool card in a very masculine way. So it's like, okay, I'm searching, and masculine energy pushes outwards. So youthful and experience is what I'm thinking here. Your connection to start off with, the Nine of Wands, may not have been one of those connections that you both fell into immediately, with the Justice card and the Six of Swords here. It's a lot of watching, a lot of waiting, a lot of wondering, wanting it to be equal in some way, which to me, as I'm looking at these and the feeling between the pair here, is there an age difference between the pair of you? Is there a difference in experience, as in, like, is one more, if it's a work situation, is somebody higher up than the other person, if you know what I mean? Basically been there longer and gained more experience. With the Justice card as well, that could be somebody on a second marriage as well. The Magician card over here, to me, it feels like you're winning out with regards to the connection at the beginning. To me, I feel that you possibly could be driving it in some way, because you've got the Aries card here as well. And if you've got this earthy feeling in the middle and you're driving it, you're driving the need to move it with the Magician card. This person is more controlled, I would guess here. Maybe a little bit harder. Excuse me. To me, you speak of innocence, or this card speaks of innocence, and the feeling for you. Oh my! I'll say that again. There's a feeling of innocence about this card and the way that you're coming across. It's almost like, if I say the word childlike, I wonder whether it's going to bring up different connotations in your head, which are negative. But it's not. It's like optimistic and wanting to live as fully in as short as time as possible, if that makes sense. While your person isn't the same. Your person, I think, is slower moving, more controlled, maybe more concerned with outside security, with the Devil card here and the Mother of Fire. This combination together would be somebody who likes to achieve. Okay, let me keep going, then I will start summing up. The Six of Cups on this side here, with the way this relationship moved forward in the past and the way it possibly may move forward, I can't speak today, may move forward in the future, as a feeling of continued caring, a feeling of a lot of watching and waiting and trying to understand here. To me, it feels like you're both on the edge of a cliff, and it's almost like you could back off and take it slowly, or you could jump off and see what happens, because you've got the Aries card down here, which basically is a feeling for the whole pile. And Aries to me is quite a drastic card when there's a shock value to it. I always say it's a bit like a wrecking ball, the Aries card to me. And to the Devil card in the centre, there could also be in this connection, in this lifetime, a possibility of loss of stability, finances or position, with the Aries card and the Devil card in the centre. Basically brought about through a feeling of wanting to protect and care for each other, and a feeling of wanting, from your point, to experience this relationship fully. The lessons behind this, the Mother of Swords and the Two of Wands, is to feel the attraction, but to use, especially with regards to you being Mercury ruled here and the Mother of Swords. I'll show you these cards because you can't see them from over here. I'm away from home. You've got here the lessons of the Two of Wands and the Mother of Swords. The Two of Wands is often a situation of you're wanting movement because it's a wand card. You want to do something that's action orientated, but often the two's a decision. So it's like you're feeling what I guess with this card in the picture is the connection, the rub, the excitement, the attraction. And the Mother of Swords is begging you, strong word here, with the Magician card being ruled by Mercury and the Swords being air, to use your mind rather than to just use your impulses here. Damn nabbit, that doesn't sound much fun, but that is what I have so far. So, let me put some extra cards out here. The karma in this connection is a need to... It's like two people that are pushed together and you get the time to be able to experience each other. One, which I feel is you, is wanting to understand, wanting to experience. And with the Magician card, there's a feeling of wanting to I was going to say show off, because the Magician card has all those different abilities on the table, but it's not showing off as in like peacocking, which is the word I always love. It's a feeling of it's like sensuality. I can't explain it. I'm going to move on from it. The Devil card and the Magician card, it's like experience all the different elements. It's experiencing the conversation. It's experiencing the sensory, the touch, the feel. It's experiencing like going out and eating and having meals together, wanting to spend time with this person, wanting to talk, wanting to share your affections, wanting to understand what the other person feels, wanting to do stuff together, wanting to love, wanting to care. All this central pile here is, if I could probably translate this to an astrology reading, it would be a moon on a north node or a south node. It's that needing to feel secure together, or that feeling of familiarity that you've already got, that needing to protect each other, especially coming from your person towards you. This is probably what's pulling you together in this lifetime, I guess. It's like, I feel you, I know you. Why can't it move quicker from your side? And your person, I guess, is, well, this is just life and this is how it goes, so let's slow down. How did this relationship feel at the beginning? Because you've got the Magician for you and the Magician there, and I'm just talking about all these different experiences. To me, it feels like there's the ability to feel like you could express yourself openly with the Sun card here. This person, again, I would interpret the Sun card with the Mother of Fire as a very maternal or paternal card again. It's a strong feeling to nurture that and that towards you. To care, but why do you both feel like you are going to lose something? Because there's this like protective feel here, but there's also protecting yourselves as well. Skills, the number 3, people in a relationship, that to me is like timing as well. Why would that be timing? Why would the 3 of Pentacles feel like timing? Because it's earthy, I suppose, for the same reason I felt the Knight of Pentacles with the Devil card is karmic, and that can often be Saturn on your Sun. You know, sometimes we see Saturn connections in synastry and we think, oh God, that sounds hard or that sounds tough. But oftentimes you see it in people who spend a long time together, often in parents, and it can feel difficult at times, but it's also that bind that sticks. Share. For you to share your gifts. For them to, what do they need to share? Sorry, I had a thought there. What do they need to share? Apart from a need to protect and care. To mentally move on. Do you know what this feels like? It feels like you're quite easygoing and that you like to, I keep saying the word experience, but you're somebody who just does, I guess, a lot of the time. You're somebody who doesn't like to overthink, who can leave things open, doesn't like to finish everything off immediately. Well, I think your person's quite sweet and kind, but controlled with regards to how their mind works. And there's a feeling here that they need to experience the way that you look at the world, and where there's more possibilities or more probabilities, where life is more open, because I feel that your person's quite tough on themselves, but very caring. Have you ever had an experience with this person where they have stuck up for you? Where there's been a conversation, your name's been brought up, and they've actually, you know, stuck their neck out to protect you or to put your point of view forward. Because that will give you an inkling if this feels right, or whether they're in conversations, they've complimented you in a way that they're trying to compliment your soul rather than just like they like your eyelashes. It's like, you know, you're a good person, keep going, that type of thing. This is like teetering on the edge of a sexual relationship forever, I think. It feels as if it's always been that way. The Tower card and the Ace of Wands and the Aries card over the Hangman. To me, these cards at the end, you know, how this relationship progressed in the past and possibly will in the future. There's still that caring and nurturing feel. But these, to me, almost put a full stop on it, because these, I'll show you the cards here. The Hangman, the Nine of Wands and the Two of Wands are all cards that are stayed or stuck in somewhere. And I'm putting the Ace of Wands and the Tower card on top of, Tower card on top of that. And that is almost like the shocking Aries feel that I talked about earlier over here. And that must have something to do with possibly the excitement of the push coming from you and them loosening up in some way with regards to how their mind is set and their life is set. And that is the friction that possibly has brought you together in this lifetime. This may have gone on lifetimes and lifetimes before, where you were brought together, possibly spent a lot of time together. There's a friction between the pair of you that took a long time to develop, and a long time, and basically probably got to a pinnacle. But there was always, the friction's there, but there's almost like trying to get through an invisible wall. And then I wonder whether it was shrouded in still caring. Oh, well, I'll be here to look after you, or to make sure you get through this stage in your life, or to make sure you get this, and I'm always here for you, which is very natural for your person. But you can't let that lie, because you can sense the underlying, you both can sense the underlying pull here. What happened here? So if this was your future, and there's a possibility here of something happening with the Tower and the Ace of Wands, which, you know, feels sexual to me, where would that lead? Having to work on it afterwards. Yep, you're almost like, this feels like, if I could put this in an everyday, not an everyday situation, but in a normal, mundane situation, would be people that work alongside each other, or friends, or colleagues, or, you know, friends of the family, and you've known each other for a while, and then perhaps one drunken night or one experience pulls you both together in a way where the relationship changes into a physical relationship. And then it almost, the way to move this forward is to understand where you both sit. You've got to use your mind and probably slow down and understand what you actually want after you get what you want, possibly here. And the Eight of Pentacles is putting that effort in afterwards. So what do you actually want from this person after the physical relationship? You know, what can you both give to each other afterwards? This person probably seems more aware of that, to be honest. So I don't know if that, you know, I don't know what your relationship is, but there's a maturity about this person who you like. Why with you there's a very youthful verve. But could you project forward where the relationship would be 10 years down the track if you were together? You know, you may have already had a physical relationship, but if not, where would that take you? Because this is like working together, and this is understanding with the Mother of Swords and the Hangman here. It's understanding what you want in the future. So to summarize here, the karmic unfolding of this connection is one where there's a rub, there's a commitment between the pair of you, which I feel is time-based, that you spent some time together. There's a needing for your person to relax with regards to, I'm going to say their morals, but I don't mean that, with regards to their mindset, who they are, where they want to be, because they're very good at projecting forward and understanding where situations end up. I feel that you're much more into experiencing and learning along the way, but this probably, the way this relationship could develop in the future is, there's nothing wrong with this, or I'm not like there's anything better about this person's way of thinking than your way of thinking at all. It's just we all are different. And that's where you probably differ, is to understand what you want after you've got what you wanted to get. yeah, an unusual way to put it, but it's like, if you're looking for just ahead to get this connection moving, what will your life be like afterwards? And that is probably, once you mentally adjust to that thought, it's more likely to come out of the imploding section, where it's just into the moment and concrete and strong, and almost have a chance to unfold and develop. Okay, pile number 1, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that helps. Yeah, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you very much for watching. Bye. Okay, pile number 2. Welcome. This pile has got a huge, extremely strong message behind it of choices, of analysis paralysis in some way, possibly between the pair of you, overthinking, getting locked in your heads, having choices and doing nothing about it in past lifetimes. So you may be in this situation now. I tell you why I'm saying this. You're starting off with quite a concrete start. You've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Hierophant, very much contained feeling in this, as in everything's right, everything's in order. And the Knight of Swords as well adds to that ability, being very sensible. Then you've got, splattered around the whole reading, the Two of Pentacles here, which is the snake going in and out of the same situation. You've got, in the central pile is where you are now. You've got the Seven of Cups here. Again, it's like choices. You've got the Two of Earth, juggling, duality, choices again. The Temperance card again, 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the floor. You know, the Sagittarius feeling of mutability again. Then you've got the two, and again you've got more going on down here. Caution, the Two of Wands, the Eight of Swords, being locked inside your head with regards, with regards to making decisions. A lot of these decisions have got a let me just put another card on this before I say anything. The Page of Cups, to me, could be like a very early decision to express your attraction or your feelings, or a very small token of expression of your feelings or your thoughts, or, yeah. Okay. To me, this feels like two people that have been together before and wondered whether the feelings are reciprocated with the Two of Cups here, and whether to express their side of the story. It doesn't have to be you sitting them down and telling them of your undying love, which I don't think with the Temperance card over here is going to be the way that you do that anyway. But I feel that you have not, in past lifetimes, I've not moved this forward, and it's been a lot of ifs and buts and not much action. Does that sound like your dad in the morning, doesn't it? Trying to get you moving. You've got the Caution card here and the Judgment card as it moves on. So all this, like, again, like your dad would say, fanning about, that's going on at the moment. Why have you got the Caution, the Judgment and the Page of Cups, which you've got down here? Because that feels like something in the future that could cause upset, life changes. Could start off small and end up big in some way that might change things that you would possibly like to be, that change to be paced in some way so it's not too much at once. To me, it feels like love nature. It could be outside environment changes, but to me, having the Knight of Cups down here and your lessons being the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Cups, how do you love? How do you express your love, and who do you love, and what type of partner do you choose, and do they bring the best out of you, or are you basically making do with regards to thinking, well, I'm still here? Do you make do with just enough in partners? And is this person different? Why has your person got the playful, what am I doing? I can't make my mind up, Two of Earth over here. All in their heads. You're both all in your heads. Why did you start off with the Queen of Pentacles? Queen of Pentacles and the Hierophant card make me think of people in life who are very assured with who they are and how they sit, and their decisions are what they would say are normally considered and normally intellectual. But the World card here is like you've bound yourselves up with what you feel is right and what you think is the correct thing to do in life. Yeah, this is difficult for me to explain, but I wonder if it goes both ways with the pair of you, more so with your person possibly. But there's a feeling here that they have worked really hard to attain some sort of mental stability in their past life choices. They think this is right, this is how life should be lived, how relationships should be lived, what I should achieve by the time I'm 30, where I should be when I'm 60, how many relationships I should have, how long lasting they should be. And then you've got this feeling here, the Temperance card, that you possibly could be similar, I don't know, but you're beginning to question this. Possibly with the Temperance card here, it's like you can see different possibilities, but you may have experienced this with them in the past lifetime, where you couldn't get to this person because they were quite stuck in their ways. And I wonder whether in this connection with the Fool card at the bottom, and this person uses their mind but not their heart to allow them to experience more, but they need to let loose on the emotions somewhat to allow this to move forward. Your lesson's been the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Cups. It's feeling love, knowing that there's more to experience, but being stuck in what they feel is right. And the Eight of Swords is locking that in and feeling like that is it. There's no other choices. Two of Pentacles. There are lots, these cards here, it's like going around in the same situation, but there are a lot of possibilities. I think we all do this through our life to some extent, where we look down at the floor and we're walking through life and we've got a direction in our head and it doesn't shift. And occasionally, if you just stopped and looked around and look at what possibilities you had in life with regards to how you have got the power to choose your relationship, who you want, who you want in your life, your job situation. Tomorrow you could basically jack your job in and travel to Tunisia and live there for 5 years. There's nothing to stop you doing that, but we often lock ourselves in. But this has got to do with emotions. So you feel that emotionally, to feel fulfilled in this lifetime, you need to follow a certain path, and your person definitely does. But I wonder whether meeting each other with a Temperance card being nice and shifty, and the Two of Pentacles being shifty, and the Two of Earth being shifty, that there's a possibility to go in a different direction here, to do with feeling an attraction towards each other. It just needs to start moving. This to me feels like I can give a quick story here, a very quick example of going travelling and having a decision to go wherever you want, and sitting in a train station in Italy thinking, no idea, should we go south to Sicily? Don't know. So in the end, we ended up going up to Switzerland, and it was just incredible because it was not, what's the word? Not prescribed, but it was something we had in our mind. And there was something in allowing that to develop and experiencing it fresh. Okay, so I've got it. This is what I've got with regards to your karmic connection in past lifetimes. It got stale through over-analysing and overthinking. I feel that you sat in the same situation for too long, and what you needed to do is to get the emotion flowing in some way, even starting off with compliments or a connection where you're actually showing your heart in a way that feels comfortable to you. I feel that your person's incredibly set in their ways, has their head down, walking along that pavement, and I'm going to swear then, because it was annoying me, needs I'm going to put it in a nice way, a flipping break, I was going to say, not really, with the Fool card there. They need to jump forward and change their life, because they're going to end up sat on the train station forever. The pair of you are. That's why you've got the Caution, the Judgment card. a huge fear in life changes, and this is going to keep this relationship going down the same path over and over again on a hamster wheel, unless, this may sound rude, one or both of you take upon you, what's culpability is the word that came to mind, I don't know what it means, for your decisions. And you're going to do that through the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Cups. It's through actually expressing regardless, which, you know, is like a bit of a, it's like a dangerous thing to say, isn't it? And it shouldn't be. To have this card here, the Page of Cups under all this, and the Two of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Ten of Cups next to that blockage in your mind of the Eight of Swords, both of you need to express regardless. Even if it falls flat, you're not going to stay in the same situation because your emotions are moving. And you don't know what to do with them at the moment. You're blocked. You've blocked them. You've got choices and you don't know what to do with them. Maybe the Judgment card and the Caution card, there's fear of it. Life changes. There's a comfort in stayed, steady, safe. To possibly, who's got the King of Swords, to overanalyze the situation, to think of possibilities, but to do nothing about it, even though the attraction is felt. And this feels really sweet. It feels like two people that have genuine, kind feelings to each other or for each other. Yeah. There's a pattern in this. The Palace, I know this is a karmic reading anyway, but there's a pattern in this. This is almost like somebody hit me over the head and saying, this has happened lifetime before, you know, so many lifetimes before, that it is, I'm going to say funny or not funny. I don't even know which one here. What can you do? Stop feeling like you're shut out of life, that you can't experience life. Once again, I'm going to give you a travelling example. Because you've got the Temperance card here, I've got a Sagittarius friend. Whenever she hits, so we're together and she hits like a new place that we've travelled to, whether it's, you know, just like gone away for the weekend, she'll put her bags down in the apartment and she will be out immediately experiencing the environment. She's not one who sits there planning, you know, what pub to go into or where to go from here. She just like goes in straight away and does it. Which is, you know, it's nice because she's in the moment here. And there's a feeling here that you feel shut out of this moment in time. And this has happened many lifetimes before. Your person overanalyzes it and feels similar, but coming from a different direction. So your past lifetimes would have been a feeling of this relationship didn't get much further because there's not enough fire in it, to be honest. Or you're not using your fire. You need to basically throw yourselves in with the Fool card here in a way that's brave, but that has got a lot to do with expressing yourself emotionally in a very considerate kind way. This isn't declaring undying love and licking the person's face. This is, if you've ever done that, this is just being next to them and allowing them to feel seen and adored is too strong a word, to be seen, and I'm going to leave it as seen. You two looking at each other here. It's me with the Devil card here and the Three of Pentacles, and then you've got the Pentacle cards and the Hierophant card here and the Knight of Swords twice. You've both learned through lessons in life, slow moving, repeated lessons of a way to use your mind, and you both think that's a skill because it protects you from, you know, situations that are possibly uncomfortable. But in doing that, you've overprotected yourself from experience in life and relationships, both of you in some way possibly. I feel that you're more open to it, but more sensitive. Your person's more sensible. But to me, this has got a feeling that unless you allow your affection to be not expressed in a way To me, these cards are sweet and they're kind and they're considerate for other people's position in life, but they're still expressing. There's still love to be shown here. So this is like, you're going to miss the boat in this lifetime unless you open up a little bit, the pair of you. And I wonder whether, you know, when people watch tarot readings, normally it's the other person that has an inability to express themselves, and it sends the other person to YouTube looking at tarot readings, because it allows you to ruminate inside you what's going on and to understand yourself. This has got a feeling that it needs to go both ways, though, to be able to move forward. The Caution, the Judgment card, and the Ten of Cups being the accumulation of emotions, and you two having to show emotions here in some way that starts off small and not block yourself. You've got a variety of different possibilities to get this connection moving, but it's got to start with your heart to get to the Ten of Cups, and to not overthink. This has got a similar feeling to pile number one in some way, where again there's like lack of spontaneity, but it was on one side before. I think it's from both of you over analysing here to feeling like sensitive on this side. But this relationship has the ability to get you outside of what I feel is experiencing life within a parameter. Is that the right word? Yeah. And it all feels safe, and I feel like, I'm talking to myself, I feel like a big person because I work really well in this circle. Look at me, I can move from here to here to here. And this person, you're both expanding your circle a lot to be able to experience this. So you've got lots of different parts of yourself being introduced, and you can experience parts in yourself and in each other, so that you're adding on to who you are and being a bigger person. But that can feel quite frightening in some way. To try and concrete these down to examples is difficult, but it's to do with emotions. It's going to get stuck unless you express yourself emotionally in a way that is kind and considered. And same words again, sorry. You've all got this moving forward with the cup cards. Lack of sensitivity on your part is like, excuse me, that was the wrong way that came out. To not be so sensitive on your part is the way that you need to move forward. And to, you know, to not want to be adored straight away or to love straight away, just to be able to be seen how you are at the moment and give yourself to this person exactly where you are now is enough. And for this person to stop trying to organise in their head how not to get tripped up by life and to connect emotionally is what I've got here. Or else this lifetime will keep you in that small perimeter, that fence. It feels frightening to get out of that, I would say here. But once again, it's asking for an emotional connection that is small, that is kind, that is given, that is expressed. This is like somebody, it's like helping each other in a way that you don't actually want anything from them. It's asking for kindness, I would say, as well, with these two cards here. It's asking for you to see the other person as human, as the same, made of the same putty as you are, with these cards here. Yeah, that's what I've got, pile number, that's a bit of a strange ending there, but pile number 2, that is what I've got. To summarise it, I can try again and speak really quickly. The unfolding karma of this connection has got a lot to do with stasis, has got a lot to do with learning to live your life in a different way, from, which is a very difficult thing to ask, from the, basically how you feel that you've constructed yourself so far. It needs to basically stretch out slightly, and the way to do that is to not be so tentative about your self-expression, and for them to basically loosen up what they think is a feeling of control inside their own mind. But the way to do that, you've both got to meet in a way that you're kind to each other, in a way that doesn't need anything from the other, that is just you learning to experience your emotions and to show each other who you are rather than thinking what you can get. Does that make sense? Okay, I always say the same things. Does that make sense? I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much. Bye. Okay. This has got a lovely pile. It's a dangerous pile, as in I feel that if I could give advice, that I would want you all to know that don't take it. Just do what you feel is right. There's also a feeling here of bravery, of past lifetimes without much movement that need guts to move forward. The card, I don't normally read reversals, but for some strange, bizarre reason, I just see the red dragon in the corner down there. The Hangman always seems to come out upside down, and I say this in every reading, and it's the only card I leave that way around. Otherwise, to me, it just gets too complicated. There's no flow for me, and it ends up being quite negative. But I like the Hangman upside down anyway, because it says stop thinking, start doing. You've got the Hermit card and the Two of Swords in the centre pile. The Hermit card, as you can see by the picture, is that an armadillo? What's the difference between armadillo and aardvark? Oh my God, I'm so thick. Yeah, I can see both of them in my head, but I'm not going to explain it. It's folded inwards and it's going inside. The Hermit card is a clever card. It's somebody who uses their knowledge and their understanding to understand relationships, the world, who they are, where they come from. But it can cause too much blockage. And you've got the Jupiter card as the guiding card here. And you've got the Five of Pentacles of feeling shut out. There's a time to stop trying to understand, and a lot of these readings, pile 1 and 2 had a flavour of this as well, and to start acting. The Ten of Pentacles here, past lifetimes, you've accumulated enough experience, there's enough karma there that you've done it. Just move. And if you look forward, if you look sideways, you've got the Fool and the Lovers on this side, which is moving forward. And if you look behind you, you've got the Star and the Wheel of Fortune. There's a lot to be had from this situation, from this connection that's very positive. But once again, in the past, you've got the acknowledgement of understanding of that, but the Hangman here is not doing anything with it. And that turns upside down over here, where you've got the Fool and the Lovers card. And this is where the bad advice comes out of, which ignore this one totally, please, but I've got to say it because it's in the cards, of moving forward with regards to a more physical, closer relationship here. I'm not sure what the Hierophant card here is. Sometimes when I get a card at the end, I look what's at the beginning. Most of the time I do, actually. The Nine of Wands is a feeling of... It's got written the darkness before the dawn there. It's like, hold it. It's like, with these cards here, it's like there's going to be some sort of... you've always felt, because this is the past, isn't it? So you're going to... You felt that this has got potential with the Star card and the Wheel of Fortune, but you've not done much about it. It's like, it will happen, it will happen. But to me, I feel like you've had lifetimes before where nothing actually did happen. But you accumulated with the Ten of Pentacles here, that feeling of something may happen, but nothing actually moved forwards. And there's frustration in here with regards to you in this lifetime, and maybe this is where it's teetering on the edge of thinking that something needs to be done, or this relationship or this connection possibly may just be in that feeling of discontented stasis, I suppose. The Fool card and the Lovers card here this is asking one of you, both of you, to move. This is where the careful bit is of, take this with a pinch of salt. The Fool card and the Lovers card is jumping into a physical relationship, but the Hierophant card could possibly hint of waiting with these two together because of a bound situation, a controlled situation, a company, a business, a relationship, structure, morals. Loads of different things there with a Hierophant card. There could even be with the Hierophant card a possibility of, again, different age groups, because there's always... One's like a teacher and there's two people listening, so that could actually be a situation here, or one person is stronger than the other, or a different age group. What's that? That's control. That is, to me, the Hierophant and the Devil card to me is incredibly controlled. Why would you get those there? Your lessons are the Six of Cups, and the Pentacle cards. The Six of Cups to me with regards to how your first two spreads here, what's happening at the moment, how that relates to past life, how the build-up before that happened in past lives as well, is possibly, this to me feels like a love with the Six of Cups of the prospect of something. Being in love with experiencing a connection, but also it's like a comfort of it not moving forward, but enjoying the Hermit card of, you could do your own tarot readings, you could look at astrology, and there's something to be had with that with regards to almost having a relationship before it's happened, because you thought, it's like sometimes when I go on holiday, I find out so much about the country, about the people, pretend I can speak the language and basically I can do that. I feel like I've been, but maybe that could be possible with the Six of Cups relating to these two piles here. Once again, there's a feeling with the Five of Pentacles of shutting yourself out with that. Sometimes when we overthink things, and you have got the Hangman twice here and the Hermit in the centre pile and the blocked card here, that you feel not only have you already experienced a relationship, but it can also be something that is idealised or I can't think of the word there. When you overthink a relationship, it can become something in your head that it's got absolutely no probability of becoming, which is idealising. It needs to change. To move this relationship forward in this lifetime, to get past this stage where it's got to, where it's concreted in past lifetimes of lack of action, overthinking and enjoying, you need to actually move forward in a way that is brave. And this is where, as I said, I'm going to say it for the last time, please ignore me. I'm just interpreting the cards, but only if it feels right to you. The Jupiter card, they throw themselves into situation, Jupiterian type people. Life's there for the living, and the bigger the better. The Seven of Fire here speaks of frustration, so there may be a feeling here that you've had enough of this feeling. It feels like you're stuck in the mud. The Two of Fire here for this person is like they're stuck. These twos just tend to give me that feeling of choices, blockages, and lack of movement. Even the Fire card being, action, the two is it hasn't really started. It's, it's all still in the mind, and what action should I do? And that needs to end for there to be something concrete in this relationship. That's what the High and the Devil card must be. It's a structure on earth. It's something that physically happens in reality rather than just our heads. To me, the Six of Cups, and I've said this already, and the Star card and the Wheel of Fortune, it's a fantastic feeling with the Hangman of enjoying the possibility. And there's a lot to be had. I'm not slating that at all, because there's a lot to be had in promises. There's a lot to do with seducing, I suppose, with regards to a lead up, or in this feeling. It adds a story, it adds a backdrop, and it adds to what possibly could be Jupiterian feet. I'm not going to say that, but it puts the brakes on the Jupiterian feeling, and it can add a flavour to it that's more subtle. Because let's just say you've just Jupiter all the way through. Let's say Jupiter and like Mars all the way through, which not many people are. They will want things immediately, and you get the Fool and the Lovers card on Jupiter and an Aries card. It's all wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I sound like your mother, don't I? But this to me has got a feeling that you quite enjoy the subtleties in the build-up, but don't get stuck in them, because that is what's happened in past lifetimes, and that is where you may be sitting at the moment. So what? You've got to make a change. You've got big cards here in the centre pile. They're big cards of possibilities and probabilities and wanting. But here is this to me is feeling like make a change to actually concrete this relationship rather than sit in fantasizing, thinking, desiring, understanding, even experiencing a growth in your own knowledge with the Hermit card. Playing with ideas, playing with emotions. It's time to move away from it. your ability to analyse is going to cause this relationship, and this will be coming from both sides, to almost lock itself out if it carries on for much longer. You could get locked out of this relationship if it carries on for much longer. This is asking for, and I am probably, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking, if you're looking at tarot readings, you know, that's a proactive way to understand yourself and the situation. You don't have to take this as, you know, what you take it inside yourself, don't you? And then you mill it around to make it make sense for you. But I guess that most of you are watching this thinking, well, this person in the Two of Fire is not moving, so what do I do? That's a good question. Because this is asking for big action. Jupiter, Seven of Fire. It's asking for bravery. And I don't want to put too much on that, but it's bravery in the real world. It doesn't have to be you riding on a stallion with a sword in your hand into where they're at work and declaring undying love. But it does need you to know where you shut yourself out of situations with the Five of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. Although I felt that it related to the way that there's comfort in the prospect of this relationship and just hoping that it's going to somehow blossom itself. Possibly the Six of Cups, it's trying to help you here with regards to Jupiter and the Six of Cups, the Seven of Fire. It's to know that you've had a past relationship with this person and the fact that it has got stuck so much that you've shut each other out. I suppose I'm trying to hold off trying to describe these to you, which are your leading cards up to making this move, because it changes from the Hangman, which is the right way around, to upside down. I can tell you what they mean, but please don't use this as advice, because I'll just tell you what they mean. The Fool card is throwing yourself into a situation that feels fresh and you feel renewed, and it's basically a totally different outlook or a perspective on life and everything that you've built up inside yourself so far. It's like, forget it and move on a different way. The Lovers card is to see yourself in the other person, I guess, here. And the Judgment card with the Fool card are like, change your life. Whatever that means to you, it's change who you are, who you want to be. It's time for a different perspective, definitely. And you can do that through connecting with somebody. Yeah, I don't know what that means to anybody. It's courage, it's bravery, it's attachment, it's connecting, it's there's also a feeling here, the Lovers card here, of being the nudies here in the centre, with the Jupiter card being very expressive. And I used to work with a boss who was Sagittarius, I think, all the way through. And she always used to tell me how she used to run around the garden with no clothes on when she was younger. And I could very well imagine that with her. Why her sister was more prudish, I suppose. And this is asking you to not be so prudish. So I don't know if that means anything, or not be too... sexuality is a funny thing. It's all you know, we've got hit. What, that doesn't look good, does it? What is that? That's with those next to those. That's not good. Can you see them? I've got to show you now because it's childish. What is that? We've got, you know, a history down here of our sexuality and our expression being constrained in so many different ways that it becomes... it's loaded with lots of different meanings here. And with the Jupiter card, is asking you to drop those in some way. I'm not saying that, you know, don't do anything that's outside your comfort zone here, but this is like a total change. And the Lovers card and the Jupiter card is almost like, drop the baggage. Yeah, drop the bollocks. There is that, yes. Could even be that, to be honest. We do tell ourselves stories down here, which must be absolutely fascinating thousands of years in the future, when we write down why we did things and how we did things and how we moved in, you know, how the generations moved and where we got our impressions and how to live our lives. And this is almost saying, forget it all. It is. Drop the restrictions that you've given yourself. Move forward with what I guess is what you naturally feel is To me, it feels like you're quite sweet-minded with the Star card and the Wheel of Fortune. And you both have been together in the past, but it's like something else blocked you, which could be society. I'm trying to think here, because this has got a... Sorry, this is going to be a biggie, as in, I'm not going to talk for much longer, but it feels different. You've got past lifetimes, I would say, where your affections were restricted, possibly to do with societal issues, whatever that means. There could be a possibility of like same-sex relationships or something like that, or a marriage, like a racial situation, possibly, the incorrect words here, where there were certain rules in society that weren't allowed to be crossed, and you had maybe both very sweet minds, intentions. You were very wise, you were very thoughtful, the pair of you, and you saw something in your connection that was genuine and normal, and society didn't see it. And this is your chance in this lifetime to pull yourself out of what automatically feels like you could be, with the Five of Pentacles, outcast. And the Jupiter is seeing as everything connected. And there's a rage inside you, possibly. A rage is a big word there, but look at his face. There's a rage inside you that sees things as they actually are, rather than as society declares it. So, I can't think of the words there. You felt blocked, and it's time for change. Okay, so simple message in this, which is making more sense of these life changes here, and the Lovers in the centre. If there is anything in between you two getting together in this lifetime that feels blocked due to what I guess is how society dictates how we live our lives, rather than what comes from inside you, this is your lifetime to change that in whichever way you feel is the correct way forward for you. And I'm not going to push that, but it's to do with bravery and courage in some way. I feel that this may not be for everybody, this reading, but it's a very strong message for somebody, because it feels the way that it's changed inside me, that this means something for, if it's just one or two people out there. And the Two of Fire here, even with this one, has got a feeling of exodus, of being like outcast in some way. But to me, with the Star card, as I said, there's like blockages. But these Wheel of Fortune and the Star card, that Aquarian Jupiterian energy is very... You can't put that in a paper bag and hold on to it. It's too wise, it's too free. And the pair of you, that's why I said you have a sweet feeling, possibly are, but you have had to think about where you sit in life, where your morals stand, and where you basically kowtail to society. And you're not having it. These cards are Seven of Fire and the Jupiter. Looking at these are the type of cards you expect to find somebody who's in law. I don't know much about law, but it's somebody who's in... it will be somebody who stands up for people who have been oppressed. And I don't know if that's law, it could be lots of different issues, but a humanitarian feel of somebody who's got the guts to fight for what they believe. I saw that guy who was the blonde-haired guy who was in the Johnny Depp trial. He's got his own channel now. And he was talking about, I don't know his name, Tremaine or something like that. He's quite an interesting guy. And I can remember thinking as he's talking, I bet he's Jupiterian because he was gutsy and straight to the point. There's something much more focused in there, maybe Capricorn as well. But he must have strong Jupiter in there, because he was saying, as I watched him talking about, it was just a 10-minute chat on where he is now, and he wants to go into law because he was a fighter. He was the one that, I'm not going to go into that, but he was the one that basically gave a bit back in a very gutsy way. So this is what this feels like. It's time to find out who you are, what you want, and to make a move with it, regardless of who's going to judge you, how society deems this as being right. So don't, if that feels right for anybody. Do you care about what the people think? And then you've probably done lifetimes of asking yourself why now. So it's time to move with this one. to do things that you feel are morally correct, not what other people deem as correct. It's to find your rebellious fire, I suppose, in some way. Pile number 3, I'm going to leave that there. That's a unusual pile, but interesting to me. I'm going to love you and leave you. Bye.